Hi everyone, it's Fabiana here and I'm super excited for this week's video because I'm going to show you how you can create your own bias slip dress sewing pattern in just a few seconds. I have to admit that I've been eyeing this pattern on Aiclo for the longest time, so I thought spring would be the perfect time to make it, and I'm actually going to be making a mini dress. I kind of want to give it my own twist because I want to add some straps on the waist to tie it on the back. That way it snatches you even more on the waist, but I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, so let's just see how it goes. I have a beautiful satin fabric for it, as you might have seen already, and even though I'm not the biggest fan of print fabrics, I found this one to be so beautiful, especially because it's 100% silk and it's buttery soft. So yeah, if you want to learn how to make your own pattern for this dress, let's get started. Okay, so if you're new here and you don't know what Aiclo is, it's basically a platform where you can generate accurate and professional sewing patterns in just a few seconds. The platform has a ton of features, including this inspiration gallery, which I love. And here, whatever you click takes you directly to the pattern or avatar that you can use to make that design. For example, here I clicked on this skirt, but since I already know what pattern I want to use, I'm just going to browse over here. As you can see, there's tons of patterns, so make sure to check it out. But I'm just going to go ahead and look for the dresses until I find the slip dress. And as soon as it opens, you can see it on this digital avatar. You can see how the fabric fits on the body, and this is a average sized avatar, but you can choose your measurements. Something really fun is that you can modify the colors, so I just went ahead and made it look a little bit more like the color on my fabric, and that's not necessary, but something really important is creating your own avatar or choosing the avatar you're going to be using for the design. I have mine already, but you can create your own with your own measurements. And as soon as you click the avatar, you'll be able to see how the dress or garment is going to be looking on your body, but on the digital avatar, which is incredible. And as you can see, all of the sliders here on the left are measurements from the pattern that you can modify, but we're going to keep it simple. I like how it fits, but I just want it to be a mini dress, so I'm going to slide the bottom length slider almost all the way to the left and just see how long it looks on the avatar. There's even a textile calculator where you can see how much fabric you'll need for the specific design. Here on the right, you can click on advanced mode and you can be a little bit more specific on the measurements you want to modify. But if you're starting out on Aiclo, I would just suggest to keep it simple and not modify many things, just to see how it fits on you. And that's basically it. You can just go ahead and download the pattern in whatever format you need. I'm going to be using US letter format. Now you can just print your pattern as you would any normal digital pattern and get ready to cut the fabric. Every pattern on Aiclo will have the information you need to cut the pattern accordingly, but I just want to remind you that for this specific garment, you have to cut it on the bias. I even had to move to the floor because my desk was not big enough to cut it on the bias, but it's okay. I promise it's worth it. As for sewing, there's not a strict step-by-step that you need to follow. I like using my previous knowledge on sewing to see what fits best, but there is a tech pack that you can download on Aiclo that gives you a general idea of what steps you need to follow to make the dress. But for this one, I did cut a facing for the front and back necklines. I thought it would just look smoother and it would have a nicer finish. And as for the straps, I had a different plan, as I already mentioned. I wanted to add straps on the waist, but I also wanted the ties from the neckline to tie on the back of my neck, so it would have a kind of an open back look. I cannot stress enough how important it is to press your fabric after sewing each seam. I've been sewing for the longest time, and this really does make a huge difference on how your garment will end up looking like. I was having so much fun sewing this pattern and fabric. I could immediately tell that this fabric and pattern would work together so perfectly, so I was rushing to finish the dress because I couldn't wait to try it on. Here I'm using some pinking shears, and if you haven't tried them yet, highly recommended. They're fabric scissors that cut a zigzag pattern on the fabric, which helps it not fray too much. I love using them to finish off the raw edges when flipping straps inside out. I moved over to my dress form because I wanted to stretch out the cowl neckline. This is a little trick I learned just a while ago, and it just helps it fit better when you're wearing your dress. Sometimes it can look a little bit too stiff, but if you stretch it out and even press it a little bit, it looks so much better. And once my front and back panels are ready with their facings, I just have to face them together, attach the straps on the waist, and hem the dress. It's actually a pretty simple dress to make. Ever since I learned a little trick, I love working on hems. I make a double rolled hem with a twist, and if you want to see how I made it, check out our video on the slip dress with darts, because I promise you it will change your life. And drum roll, please. This is how stunning the dress turned out. I am so happy that I added the straps on the waist. It's a detail that really does make a difference. And it's honestly something that you can add to many of your garments or dresses that you make. I've seen a ton of people do it, and I now see why. So 10 out of 10. And while wearing the dress, I had something in mind, so let me show you what I did. I had 2 straps remaining, so I made some bows on each side of the straps, just like this. What's fun about making your own clothes is that you can play around, you can see what works best on you, on your body, and Aiclo really does help you with that. I've been loving making clothes that actually fit and are meant for my measurements and my body. And I pinched the cowl neckline using a safety pin, and now I have another look I can wear with this dress. This was honestly not planned at all, but I think it's so nice, and it shows how one pattern can transform into something else. If you want to see any other garments that we've already worked on, make sure to check out our videos. Or if you'd like us to try a specific pattern, give us a few ideas on the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!